And welcome inside the Backstage Pass. It is a matinee show on a Friday morning. I love doing these too as well because it means you're one step closer to the weekend coming up around the corner too. And I'm enjoying just being on vacation and doing these shows at the same time as we're presented by our friends at Bangtail Whiskey. And of course, over there at Honky Tonk, Texas. Check out the websites there from our sponsors at the bottom of the screen here. And of course, back here on hightidecountry.net, our internet radio station out of Oklahoma, and always at the Sports Guys podcast.com, where you can catch all the shows they're archived. Pleased to welcome in a gentleman I had a chance to meet a couple of years ago at CRS 2022, I believe it was. Yep, we're in 2023 now. It's hard to believe how time flies here. His latest single, South Dakota Skies, climbing the charts, making some noise out there. My good buddy, Matt Rogers, here to the Backstage Pass. Matt, how you doing, brother?
Brandon, how are you, man? Good to be here.
Oh, it's good to be here, man. Good to do a little matinee kind of morning show. Like I said, that one step closer to the weekend, right?
Yeah, happy Friday.
Yeah, it's a good Friday.
My undercover coffee mug. You don't know what I got.
Well, hey, man, you've been around this thing called music for quite some time. I had a chance to see you play live there at Blake's Place, Old Red. We were in town there for CRS, Kirsty and I too. And, man, you got a little residency going on there with those guys at the great Old Red restaurant there in downtown Nashville on Broadway. And like I said, just kind of remind folks, I mean, I know the whole story. Georgia native, and of course, just loving music from a young age. But for those who don't know, and maybe hearing the name Matt Rogers for the first time, talk about just all the connections and kind of your backstory and connection to music from a young age.
Yeah, man, music's been one of those things that's always been there for me. I grew up in Georgia, so like most good Southern boys, grew up with doing music in the church. That Baptist church stuff has a lot of singing going on, but then I had like a youth praise and worship band, and then I had like a garage band there. But I did a lot of sports, and I participated in a lot of stuff in high school, so music wasn't like a forefront. Went to college, and part of my scholarship in college was music. I did some guitar stuff and choir stuff in college, as well as athletics, and started writing songs more often in college. Moved back home and started working in Macon, Georgia, in the medical field, and put a little band together there, and was touring and writing a whole lot and starting to record and do some things there. And man, it just started growing kind of from there. And in 2013, I put out a song called "I Was Raised," kind of a tribute to my upbringing, and made a deal with the radio station in Atlanta, the iHeart Syndicate, the Bull. And made a deal with the program director. They wanted to pay me to come play like at Georgia Tech for like in the parking lot on their stage or whatever. And I ended up trading the compensation they were going to pay me for spins on the station. And it added to a few of the other syndicate stations, because I guess the program director let that one slip through the crack and told them not to add it. So then, now I was taking meetings in town and coming up a lot and writing and recording and cutting demos and doing all of that stuff. And kind of made the conscious decision, man, I could chase this and do this as a career. So I saved up as much money as I could for about a year and a half. And in the summer of 2015, moved to Nashville to chase it full time. And I've been doing music full time ever since.
Which is cool, because I love this album, and it reflects so much of kind of that, getting these songs off the shoulder and into the fans, hands, where they can resonate with so much of this music. And the album I'm referring to came out last year for you guys and did very well with songs like Billboard and Be Like Him, and the one we're talking about is Cole, which came out last year. Kind of hit on some highlights of this, because this was really fantastic music to get into the hands of country music fans. Grit, growl, you tell a lot of great stories with this, and there's something for everybody on this record.
Yeah, it is definitely across the spectrum, but I feel like albums should be, as long as they stay on theme, they can be across the spectrum of emotions anyway. And I wrote Cole first. That's typically how I do it. I have a aha moment. I have a really inspired moment where I write a song, typically by myself, that means a whole lot to me. And it kind of starts that whole creative cycle. And then I start writing songs around that for a project. So I did Cole, like I said. Before that, it was a song called Richest Place on Earth. But it came from that moment. Cole is a super special song to me because it reminds me to be grateful. It's really hard in this business, especially with social media and everything else. You get in that mindset of compare, contrast, and wondering why things aren't happening as fast as you want them to, and things like that. And that one brings me back. That one keeps me grounded just because I can go right back to the moment that I wrote that song. I just finished a 6 a.m. radio spot in North Myrtle Beach. I was making my way to Wilmington, North Carolina to be on the 11 o'clock midday news, Channel 5 WECT in Wilmington, North Carolina. And, and I kind of had that feeling of like, man, I don't want to be here. I don't want to play this show tonight. I'm ready to be home. I'm ready to be in my bed. I was tired. It was like the 5th day in a row. I was by myself in the Carolinas. And it's like God spoke to me in the truck and reminded me how blessed I was and how much greatness there really is in my life and how lucky I really am. And I can remember that moment. So whenever I feel those moments creeping up of like, man, why isn't this happening? Why can't this, that moment, I can just go back and really be grateful for what I've got.
The business is a grind, no doubt. And I'll tell you, you kind of reflect some of those sentiments to me a little bit because I started doing this about 4 years ago and looking back and seeing all the different, I guess, pathways it takes you down, the roadways, what have you, and the traveling and doing live shows and attending events such as the great CRS and things like that, and meeting great people in the business. Success doesn't happen overnight. And I think a lot of fans, too, go out there, buy the records, listen to the music, but they don't realize the work that goes on behind the scenes. Talk about your team and just what it's like to have some great folks support you.
Yeah, I mean, that is where all of the work happens, all the grunt work. They see you step out on stage under lights on a Friday or Saturday night, but during the week, it really is a lot. And, you're writing, I write 3 or 4 times, writing sessions, meaning you go to the row or you meet up with people and write. And then I try to write by myself and, you're making content, you're scheduling shoots, you're scheduling video content to make. There's a lot that goes on, and I'm very, very fortunate. As of April 1st, I just joined in the Baldestern Group as my management, and I'm feeling really, really great about my team right now. We're getting ready to go in. We just did pre-production yesterday to cut a few more songs. Really, really excited about some things going on.
You got a great team, no doubt. Renee McClure, one of my favorites out there too as well, and props to her for everything she does there at Baldestern. We'll come back. We'll talk about some more songs off the Cold album. We'll also talk about the latest single from Matt Rogers, who's out there called South Dakota Sky, for you guys to check out that across all the digital platforms. And, of course, Matt will play a couple for us here on the Backstage Pass powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. We're only 6 weeks out now from the start of the NFL season and, of course, high school football. We'll have all that coverage for you here at that very website and, of course, HighTideCountry.net. More with Matt Rogers here. It is the Backstage Pass. Hang tight. Coming back with a performance off the Cole record and, of course, the latest single, South Dakota Sky. Hang tight.
The Bangtail Pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And back here with Matt Rogers, of course, next week, Monday morning, in fact, we're going to get the 10 to 1 album, talk about this, and a great group. Dean Sams of Lone Star going to be here on the Backstage Pass. Looking forward to that. Talking about that new record. If you haven't heard it, 10 to 1 is a fantastic album. Came out there just a few weeks ago, so make sure you guys go check that out. We'll get the story from Dean and, of course, talk about the legendary band Lone Star coming up there Monday morning, very early for a show. And then we'll put that out on the website. Of course, all the socials that day. Check out a fantastic interview. Cassie Joy and a whole lot more coming up over the next few weeks here on the Backstage Pass. And I tell you, Matt, football season is around the corner, and I wanted to ask you about this before we have you play a tune for us here. Talk about just the athletics and how important, you mentioned that at the top of the show, the background, the scholarships, playing sports, and just how much that meant to you when it came to teaching you skills there, to kind of be that guy, to be that player, and to be a teammate someone can count on there on your team.
Yeah, man, sports is so great for like becoming a man or just becoming a great person. There's so many life lessons that you learn in sports of how to persevere, how to push through, how to be a teammate, how to step up when you need to. it was a very important part of my life and my formative years. But I like that it made me a competitor. I like that it made me want to be better. So that helps you across everything in life, So yeah, that is definitely a staple part of my story.
No doubt. And it's reflecting in the writing, the music, and of course, I love it out there too. South Dakota Sky too. I guess we could start right there. Have you played a new single for us here on the show?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do that. We'll come back and talk about how the song had the background story and kind of where it originated, my friend. It's all yours.
1,000 miles away from home, but it doesn't feel like I'm alone. I can hear the whisper in the wind, that voice of reason's creeping in, and the gears won't stop turning. All the lessons I've been learning still don't keep my mind from asking why. Am I doing what I should be? Do the lyrics really move me? Or am I only playing guitar with words that rhyme? Is there something to the story? Uncharted territory? And maybe I'm just tired or I'm just high. But the stars are asking questions in the South Dakota sky. Yeah, the stars are asking questions in the South Dakota sky. There's a clarity in the black and night that burns away with the morning light. Recognize your childhood fears. They don't change much throughout the years. That old familiar feeling, searching for the meaning. 'Cause you know we're only living till we die. So am I doing what I should be? Do the lyrics really move me? Or am I only playing guitar with words that rhyme? Is there something to the story? Uncharted territory? Yeah, maybe I'm just tired or I'm just high. But the stars are asking questions in the South Dakota sky. The stars are asking questions in the South Dakota sky. There's a million little lights up there, as far as I can see. It's hard to keep the faith sometimes, but as long as I believe that I'm doing what I should be, writing lyrics that still move me. If it don't say nothing, I don't waste my time. Ain't afraid to tell the story, all the faults and all the glory. 'Cause there'll never be anything but mine. Finding answers to the questions in the South Dakota sky. Finding answers to the questions in the South Dakota sky.
Yeah, boy, that's music. And I tell you what, I was actually listening to on the drive down there to Corpus Christi and then back some. And of course, man, it made you think too as well about a lot of things in life. And I tell you, just that part of the country is so amazing up there. I've never been that far. I guess I've north there, but not near South Dakota. But just man, great writing. Let's talk about how this one came about, man. The ideas and how the songs kind of just are, created and kind of born there, stepping in a room, whether you write it yourself or kind of a co-write there, man. Beautiful song.
Yeah, that one's a similar story to Cole. And it kind of is that thing where I talked about where I have an inspired moment and then it kind of starts the creative cycle all over again.
Mm-hmm.
I was struggling a little bit. I was a little frustrated. I played a handful of shows. I put a single out off the Cole record, and we were kind of promoting it before I went back to the area in the Midwest with the band later in the year. And the shows were just going pretty bad. There were some things that slipped through the cracks. There was like a radio station that wasn't really expecting me, they said, or they messed up their scheduling. And there was a venue that had gotten a picture off my Facebook page instead of any of the high-res pictures on my electronic press kit or whatever. And they said, live tonight, Matt Rogers. And it had like a really grainy, blurry picture where they had cropped down a big band picture from a big stage when we were doing shows with a guy named Cole Swindell. And it was my guitar player. It was a grainy picture of him. So it was not even me on the thing, So it was just a little bit of came from a moment of frustrating. And I was having that self-doubt kind of creep in. I was like, man, am I really doing what I'm supposed to be doing here? Like, what, you have that question a lot as a songwriter, which is like, what the hell are you doing with your life?
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of that moment. So I finished the last show. It was a Sunday night show up in a small town called Pickstown, South Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
And I got back on my little hotel that night and sat out on the little porch and looked at the stars. And that part of the country, there's not like a lot of trees and stuff. I mean, it's just horizon.
Mm-hmm.
You see where the land meets the sky. It goes as far as you can see. And at nighttime, it's crazy because it was so dark and I could see just every star. And I just kind of pondered a lot before I hit the hay that night. And the idea kind of hit me. And then I rode it in the truck on that 17-hour ride home the next day.
Oh, man, it's a great story where songs come from, too. And like you said, it reminded me so much of like Amarillo, because I've been as far, Texas at least, far north there, and that land meets the horizon, and you just kind of see that. There's no trees in Amarillo, and of course, South Dakota reminds me a little bit of that too as well, because all you see is just those big hills as far north as you go there. So fantastic single. If you guys want to download that, feel free to do that across all the digital platforms. Also check out mattrogerscountry.com for the latest tour dates and of course news out there too. Let's talk about one or maybe a couple here from the Cole record, and we'll have you play another one. Be Like Him. I got to see the music video to this, which was really awesome too. Give us kind of a backstory and kind of where this come from, because this was actually one of your biggest songs that got a lot of spins out there from the Cole record.
Man, I got really lucky with that one because we had an idea for a music video and we had like planned all this stuff out, and it was going to be very particular, and it was going to be in, around like a rec league baseball field, and like all of the permits got pulled the day before we were supposed to shoot.
Wow.
So we completely redrafted and came up, like rushed, found people that would be actors in the music video, came up with a brand new plan in like 12 hours the day before we were scheduled to start shooting, and shot it the next day. And it was my first ever music video to go to CMT. So that was kind of stressful during the time, but it's a really cool story now to think about how it goes right back to that kind of perseverance thing we talked about, right? You kind of pivot and you have to figure things out. That's what a lot of life is about. So it was kind of a funny story now. It was hectic at the time and we were kind of under the gun, but really cool to think about how it came together and how it was still able to perform and go to CMT for a little while, and kind of started everything on the Cole record. It was the first real single and the first real release, and it tested at radio for a little bit. And so that one is special to me too. I wrote it with good friends, Barrett Baber and Terry Joe Box, people I've known for a long time in town, and they're great songwriters, and they have lots of success in the songwriting world. But I had been holding on to that idea, and I pitched it to them, and they kind of everybody pulled from a little bit of their own, their own influences and their own story to kind of put that song together. And it kind of was a special co-write, at least for us.
No doubt too. And I'll tell you another one that got to feature another great artist. I want to kind of get a collaboration on this one, which was called Hurt Like You off that Cole record, featuring Roz there too. Another great artist out there too that I just heard of off the record there a few weeks ago. Of course, a lot of people I'm sure have heard of Roz there too. How did that collaboration come about and actually to work on this song?
Roz and I have been friends since I moved to town, just about, She's got a band called The Curves now. They're making some moves. They're making some noise, and I'm really excited for them. And she co-wrote several songs with me on the Cole record. Fallout, she's a co-writer on. She's co-wrote other songs that I put out, like Burn the Boat as well. But wrote that song with some friends, and we pitched it around town, and we were really hoping that somebody was going to cut it and record it, and kind of COVID slowed some things down as far as that goes. And in that period of time, I signed a distribution deal with a company, and had an opportunity to record some music. And I asked all the guys that were on that song if they were cool with it, and they said, go for it. And Roz was my call, and she came in and killed it. And we made a cool little music video for it as well. And I love that song.
Yeah, it's a good one. No doubt about it too, brother. Well, I'll tell you, we'll take another time out here. More with Matt Rogers on the Backstage Pass, of course, at the sportsguyspodcast.com. And of course, out there too, if you guys haven't heard yet, 2023 Josie Music Award nominee for Media Company of the Year. We'll be there in October, coming up there at the award show at the Grand Ole Opry. Looking forward to that. Thanks to everybody at the Josie Music Awards for nominating us, and not something you asked for. Just something, as Matt knows, the business is tough out there. It just happens when you least expect it to happen there too as well. And of course, HighTideCountry.net, the internet station out there too. And thanks to our sponsors, Bangtail Whiskey, and our friends at Honky Tonk Texas for all they do to keep us on the air out there too. We'll have another performance from Matt. We come back from this time out here. It is the Backstage Pass. Stay tuned.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And back here on the show again, it is Matt Rogers. It is the Backstage Pass, again powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Catch all the shows there. If you missed one yesterday, we had Miles Miller on, another fantastic musician there, who's doing well with his record Solid Gold. So make sure you guys go check that out too. And of course, HighTideCountry.net. You can hear some of the best music there from independent artists, and of course, some of the best shows out there with some of the best DJs on that very website there too as well. Of course, YouTube, we're all over the place. Wherever you find podcasts, you'll find the Backstage Pass. The latest single from Matt, South Dakota Sky, doing very well since it came out there in May. And make sure you guys go download, stream that everywhere too. Well, I tell you what, Dealer's Choice, my friend. We'll set you up for another one here. What's the audience going to hear?
I've kind of got a brand new one I want you to hear. I don't know if we're ever going to put it out, so this is like the worldwide debut for it here.
I like that. It's all yours.
My buddy Lee Tucker, he's from South Georgia, and he has crazy ideas, and he threw this one out, and me, Lee Tucker, and JC Anderson got together and wrote this one. Kind of crazy. I hope you like it. It's called Grandma's House. Granny didn't always smile this much. It's been pretty hard since Papa left us. Lately you can't help but see the glaze over her eyes from that new doctor that she's got. Maybe something he's prescribed. I guess cookies ain't the only thing getting baked at Grandma's house. 'Cause every time that I stop by, she's glued there in the couch. Dazed and confused, watching days of our lives. She used to roll out dough, but now she's rolling up dimes. Got Willie Nelson on, turned way up loud. I guess cookies ain't the only thing getting baked at Grandma's house. She makes it not look hard getting old. She ain't saying pot roast when she says she saved a bowl. Sharing peanut butter brittle and giggles by the stove. That's how you know the cookies ain't the only thing getting baked at Grandma's house. 'Cause every time that I stop by, she's glued there in the couch. Dazed and confused, watching days of our lives. She used to roll out dough, but now she's rolling up dimes. It's got Willie Nelson on, turned way up loud. I guess cookies ain't the only thing getting baked at Grandma's house. She knows in a couple days that I'll be coming back to help her in her fight so she can kick like Homer's ass. She'll fix me up a Tupperware that I can take back home. She says even in the Bible, folks were getting stoned. I guess cookies ain't the only thing getting baked at Grandma's house. 'Cause every time that I stop by, we're both stuck there in the couch. Dazed and confused, watching days of our lives. She used to roll out dough, but now she's rolling us up dimes. We got the Allman Brothers on, turned way up loud. I guess cookies ain't the only thing. No, cookies ain't the only thing getting baked at Grandma's house. Getting baked at Grandma's house.
I'm gonna be the first here for that worldwide premiere there. You should release that, no doubt. That's just genuine country music, takes you back to a little bit of just any kind of decade, but especially that 90s feel that I grew up on. You love so much. It's song just, like you said, 3 chords in the truth, or maybe there's 4 chords in that one, but just tells a great story, and everybody loved their grandma growing up. Mine was kind of like a mom to me as well, next to my biological mom too, but at the same time, it's what you went there for. It was all that too, and not a day goes by I don't miss her, and that song really just brings back memories, and that's what a tune will do to you, no doubt. And that's a great song, great write, no doubt. I love it.
Thanks, man.
Good stuff right there too. So if you guys do put that out, remember, you heard it here first here on the Backstage Pass. Hey, let's have a little fun here. Do a little rapid fire. I love doing this too. Just in general, to get to know you more personal basis. I know you a lot too, so we've met in person before. We've had a chance to chat a little bit. But for the folks that don't know, when you're not doing music, what are some of the fun things that Matt Rogers enjoys doing?
Man, music takes up a lot of my time, but in my free time, I am a foodie for sure. I love to grill and cook and barbecue and things like that. So I've been perfecting my Texas brisket for you.
Oh,
so
man.
It's dialing that in. I used to shoot guns professionally too, so I love getting to go out to the range at any time too, and kind of do some blasting and some training and some shooting and things like that. So that's a big passion as well. But for the most part, man, I'm really got nose to the grindstone right now. So that free time is few and far between. I'm trying to grind it out and get a bunch of good songs together and get things kind of rolling and make sure that we can get that next level that we're so desperately clawing at.
Yeah, no doubt. And I wanted to ask you about this too. When it comes to new music, some of the plans, and I guess what you can say now, I'm sure exciting music is on the horizon now for the next set of songs to be released. And you guys were mentioning away, you're kind of, banging away now to get this done. Talk about just excitement and this new music that you've got coming out here, 2023 into 24.
I've got a song coming out next Friday. So the 21st, we're pre-save campaign right now. We're giving away a pair of Durango boots and a Matt Rogers merchandise bundle. If you pre-save, we're going to have a drawing for that. Thank you to our sponsors at Durango. But it's called Rush, comes out July the 21st, like I said, next Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote it in the country of Denmark with a producer
Wow.
from Copenhagen, Denmark, and another Georgia boy named Nick Haynes.
Okay.
We were over there last year for a songwriting festival. Wrote the song, brought it back. Producer loved it. Team loved it. So we cut it, and it's getting ready to come out. I'm really, really excited about it. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit more rocky than anything I've put out, which is fun. It's got a lot of energy, cool message, and I'm excited about that one. And we've got a couple more in the chamber to come out this year too. So yeah, just stay tuned. A lot of music coming down the pipeline.
Looking forward to it. So July 21st, Rush comes out, and go ahead and pre-save now. Chance to win those Durango boots out there too, and look a little snappy before the release comes out too. Like I said, love that. So that's a
gotta have a pair of boots, man.
Gotta have a pair of boots, no doubt about it, brother. All right, let's do this one. May take some thought, may not. First song to ever sing live on stage. What was that tune?
Ooh, that's a great question. I think it was "Please Come to Boston."
Oh,
I got to sit in with a local band, a guy from my hometown, and that was about the one that I had learned. You know, it was my mom's favorite, one of my mom's favorite songs as well. I ended up actually recording a version of that song too, that's out there floating somewhere on the internet. But that was, I think that was the first time I ever got behind a microphone in front of people.
I love it.
By myself, you know, kind of doing my thing.
I love it. All right, last song you got to listen to. I guess it could be any genre of music. Of course, I love country here too. Last song you got to listen to that was not Matt Rogers, but it may have just really connected with you on kind of a personal basis.
Oh man,
or you streamed it.
Yeah, there's a bunch of those. I listen. I consume a ton of music for a number of different reasons. I have guys that are like go to if whatever vibe I'm feeling that day. It kind of draws you towards that too. I'm real big fans of a lot of music out your neck of the woods. So the Turnpike Troubadours are really, really big fan. I'm a big fan of them. Actually getting to go see them here in a couple weeks at the Ryman Auditorium.
Okay.
But I was just listening to them, recently, and I go through their whole catalog a lot. So they're great songwriters, man, and they're really, really good dudes too. So I don't know if there's a specific song out of there that I can really draw from, but I really love that one. I like the Bird Hunters, which is a cool song from them.
One of the best out there too. And for me, I tell you what keeps doing it, man, is, and I keep turning it on because it's just great music, and it's a mix of everything. The Blackberry Smoke. I just love like listening to that old rugged kind of feel with the rock and a little bit of that Americana feel to it with the country and the great blend it has.
Charlie Starr is like the last remaining rock star alive.
Oh my God.
He's incredible, man. He is the whole show to me. He's an amazing guitar player. So I'm bragging on guys from your neck of the woods. You're bragging on guys from my neck of the woods. Those guys are all from Georgia. So
they are, and I got to see them there maybe a couple of years ago during the 21 or 20, somewhere in there, and they played Houston at House of Blues down here, which was amazing to kill it, man. A great audience and energy, and just the way they brought their show to the forefront, man. It was crazy. Like I just tell people, if you want to see a band, Turnpike Troubadours for one here in Texas, catch them, and then two, I mean, Blackberry Smoke is right there too, no doubt about it. Georgia, just great country artists like yourself come out of Georgia.
A lot of music comes out of Georgia, man, for sure. Those two bands are a perfect example of there are no shortcuts. Those guys did it the hard way and the long way. They've both been doing it for 20 plus years, and they are. You can tell when you see a show because it is bad to the bone.
It is bad to the bone, no doubt. All right, favorite toppings on a Matt Rogers pizza that nobody else can have a slice. It's just yours. What toppings go on it?
Man, I had a guy tell me in college early on, he's like, if you develop a taste for scotch and anchovies, you'll never have to share your hooch or your pizza. But I never did quite develop that anchovy taste. I am one of the people, I am pro pineapple on pizza.
Okay.
I do like Hawaiian pizza or like a barbecue chicken pineapple kind of thing. I'm into it, man. I like it.
I'm digging that now too. It took me a while to warm up to the pineapple, but I'm digging the barbecue chicken and your other one there too, the Hawaiian pizza there too. Depending upon where you go, and that salt and sweet kind of taste to it. It's
yeah, man.
Good feel to both too, man. Hey, always good to catch up with you too, and best of luck. Rush comes out next Friday, July 21st, And then we back up a second there. South Dakota Skies out there across all the digital platforms. The album Cole is out there for you guys to stream and download too. And of course, check out my good friend MattRogersCountry.com for more information there too on the website for the live shows, merchandise, things like that. Go out and support the great musicians out of Nashville, Tennessee. My friend, looking forward to catching up when I get back there, hopefully in, I don't know, October or next year for CRS. Always good to, drop a vine with you here on the Backstage Pass. And, man, if I can ever do anything again, feel free to come back here on the show. Always appreciate you, brother.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Give me a buzz when you're back my way, and I'll see you soon.
We got it, man. The one, the only Matt Rogers, MattRogersCountry.com. We're off for the weekend. And, of course, Monday morning, we'll talk with Dean Sams of Lone Star, talk about their new album, 10 to 1. And, of course, some great shows next week. Johnny Daly, Clay Hollis, and the great Miko Marks coming by here on the Backstage Pass. Looking forward to that here. And so we're out there on HighTideCountry.net, the SportsGuysPodcast.com, and, of course, the YouTube channel. Go give Matt some likes out there on social media. Click and download the songs. And, of course, give us a like out there across all the digital platforms. And go check out shows you may have missed. We'll see you guys Monday with Dean Sams of Lone Star. Until then, have a great week.